Rich people of Reddit that were poor before. How did money solve your problems and what new problems have appeared? Went through childhood in the foster system and fell through the cracks. Ended up homeless a few times. Anyways, I am not a 1%, but I do make more than 80% of Americans' yearly salary-wise. Money relieved me of stress. When I go shopping, I don't check my bank account before I make a purchase. I have insurance, so I am not afraid to go to the dentist or doctor. Going out with friends is fun because I know I won't be financially struggling from a night out. It ultimately bought me a level of stability ever was used to, and I am incredibly grateful. My new problems I wouldn't call problems: home maintenance, car upkeep, bills, etc. I am grateful those are my main worries these days. Money allows me to not worry. It doesn't make me happy, but it frees up my mind to be happy, because I don't have to spend time worrying about how I'm going to pay the next bill. Lifestyle creep is a very real thing. If you're looking for a problem, we've gotten used to this level of money, so if it were to go away, it would be a pretty big problem pretty quickly. Our bills have risen along with our income. When I was poor, no money, but free time now. Money, no free time. It's really not fair. Maybe when I retire I can finally catch up on my gaming backlog. I'll be the old guy in the assisted living facility playing Red Dead Redemption 2 instead of hoping my grandkids call. Dude, when millennials get to old age, they'll be having gaming parties in the old folks' home. When I was in school I had so much free time to play games, but was limited in how many I could play because I could only afford a few games a year. Now I have a kick-ass PC and can afford any game I want, but I'm limited in how many I can play because I only realistically have time to beat a few games a year. Phoning service industry people, wait staff, hotel, retail store people. It's embarrassing sometimes because I don't know how to react. I have a sister who is middle class and 3 kids. I'm relied on to provide certain expensive things for the kids. Once in a while is fine. It's fun, but because I have no kids, she thinks there should be a constant stream of fun activities and gifts coming from me because what else are you spending your money on? Grew of middle class until 12 years old. Then mom had a stroke and parents lost family business and was essentially piss poor broke. I think parents sheltered my brothers and I from it a lot. Always had something to eat, but always moving around different homes. Christmas presents consisted of socks, underwear and candy bars. It sucked during high school. I was jealous, went to college, got a job, and so did my brothers. My brothers started doing well and started supporting our parents. I ended up going to med school, getting through residency, still paying off massive loans, but now in a place where I don't have to worry about my car breaking down. I can go to Whole Foods, I can buy friends and family dinner without thinking about it. I can pay for my parents' dental work without thinking too much about it. I can invest in stocks, invest in a good home, maintain the home and my cars, and even make money on my house by investing correctly. The biggest difference is that now I can make financial decisions that on their own make money for me, with real estate and with investing. And the ratio of this easy capital gains money only gets better every year. When you are poor you own nothing and the only way of making money is to work, but if your paycheck can't support your lifestyle it is very difficult to break cycle. I can afford the good toilet paper now. The only problem is, I'm still not rich enough to have someone wipe for me. I just bought a bidet thingy on Amazon for like $30, and I think it's the next best option. Just saying. I never save on toilet paper. My ass is really sensitive and needs to be taken care of. Or else. My biggest difference is now that I can wait till something is in sale and cheap instead of need to replace it when it broke. It allows me to get better quality for the same amount of money. For example, laundry machine is minus 50% during sales, so I can buy the quality of a $1,000 instead of a low end of the market for $500. We weren't really that poor, but we lost a good part of our income. Man, the biggest problem is I can't spend money without stressing about how many hours I will have to work to pay it off. Not rich by 1% standards, never been poor. I always had a support system, even if I had no money myself. That being said, the number one thing I noticed is holidays aren't as stressful, because money isn't an issue. Shopping for presents is relatively easy, because I'm limited by creativity. Not weighing how ashamed am I going to be to give this crappy gift to someone versus how much do I want to eat this week. The main problems come from being in that place where enough is never enough. As long as I watch my spending, I can mostly buy the occasional thing I want, but I don't have enough that I can buy whatever. It's also a dilemma when it comes to helping out my friends. I don't have enough that I can afford to solve or really significantly impact my friends' financial problems, while at the same time, I want to be generous, helpful when I can. On the gripping hand, it becomes easy to be taken for granted or even worse, taken advantage of. Springing for the occasional meal can easily become being expected to pay for restaurants that are more expensive than I want to be going to in the first place. You want to nip that shit in the bud real quick. But I have a lot of friends who are literally looking through couch cushions for gas money. At the same time, if I gave them gas money all the time, I wouldn't be able to pay my own bills. So it sucks to sit there and have to figure out when I can actually help versus when I'm lighting myself on fire to keep someone else warm. It is hard to overstate the joy of having a reliable car, with gas, with insurance, that I just take to a guy if something needs to be fixed. It isn't brand new or fancy. It's just a car I can trust. It is heaven. New problem: my nieces and nephews hit me up for money whenever they have some sort of travel event they found that they want to go on. Sometimes the answer is no, and that often causes hard feelings. About to drop 3,000 on a transmission rebuild for a car I've had for a year because I can't afford to make monthly payments for a newer one. I can't even imagine trusting a car. Kinda the opposite here. Was fairly wealthy, living in a large single-family home. Now living in a 250 SCAF trailer. The biggest thing is probably not having the time to be able to enjoy ourselves. Working 7 days a week just to make ends meet isn't fun. Before, we could go anywhere on a whim and not have to worrying about missing out on the money. One thing I can say for sure though is I will never take normal things for granted ever again. How I miss having a dishwasher and a clothes washer and counter space. I miss having an oven big enough for a tray of cookies. I miss having more than one bathroom in the house. If I were to ever have these things again, I'd never ever look at them how I did before. I'd be eternally more grateful than I ever had been. Went from extremely lower middle class, where I didn't carry insurance because I couldn't afford it, and could never pay all my bill in any given month, to 1%. The biggest difference is bar none the loss of that fear and shame. My wife is an incredibly empathetic, sympathetic person. She came from money and doesn't understand the feeling, distress, shame, and sleeplessness that comes from not having money just can't be explained unless you've lived them. Not having that feeling, just knowing I can buy what I want within reason. Don't confuse the 1% with the 1% is one of the greatest changes in my life. Having come from almost nothing to where I'm at now, there are no problems. The problems I face now are totally first world problems, because money. How did you get to where you are now? A healthy dose of dumb, blind luck and being smart enough to take advantage of an opportunity when it came along. I'm in a position that I'd never be hired for today. I'm basically an electrical engineer in a large, but sort of specialized field without any of the schooling behind it. The utility industry, 15 years of on-the-job training and an internal testing system allowed me to rise up into a position where instead of doing the work, I'm reviewing it for people far better qualified on paper. I've now got that rare or equivalent experience that you occasionally see on job posting that opens up the world in this industry for me. But really, the break was nothing more than luck and working my ass off at the beginning. Can't say I'm rich, but for my age 22 I'm wealthy. I always had to think a lot before buying anything. Having money makes it much easier. I don't have to say no to my friends when they invite me for something because I don't have the money. Always so embarrassing. Still, I'm always afraid I lose it again and I end up being poor again. It's a constant anxiety. The biggest thing it solves is that you no longer have to worrying about things. $2,000 car repair. No big deal. Put it on your credit card to save 2% with cashback and the bill is auto-paid in full on the due date anyways. Your life is much less stressful when these things randomly pop up, and you don't have to worry about where you'll get the money to cover them. The problem I've been thinking about lately is why I want to keep increasing my salary. I'm on the fence about getting an MBA so that I can move into a senior level management position. CEO. It's not like I need more money. We already live on less than 30% of my salary, so why do I need to earn $800,000? 1 meter, even like a 20-meter salary. It seems so wasteful. I like my $250,000 house just fine. I like my current vehicle and motorcycle. What else do I possibly need? But yet I feel like everyone around me is like, why? So yeah, I'd say that. I feel like I'm supposed to want to move into those positions, and when I ask people why I should want to move into that position, the answer is always because you'll earn way more money. And it's like, I earn $180, $230,000 per year right now, and we live on less than $70,000. So why in the world would I need even more? I could retire on my current path at 43 years of age with over $4 million. Why do I need more money than that? I'm not rich, but I went from making restaurant wages to having a salaried job with the state with benefits. Last night, I was at Target buying towels and was getting my usual $10 towels. I was putting them in the basket when I stopped and realized I didn't have to get those anymore. Walked another aisle over and got much nicer towels because I could afford it. You don't have to be rich to enjoy some better things when you were dirt poor for nearly a decade. As far as downsides, I'm still not rich, so I can't splurge that often on other things. I swear, good quality towels are the shit. You think towels are just towels, but damn. One answer to both questions. I couldn't afford beer and now I can. I grew up without much money and was the first in my family to go to college. After college, I kept on going education-wise and now have a job that lands me in the top 1% of earners. First, the GOAT. Grocery shopping without that sinking feeling of having to put something back because I miscalculated. No more clipping coupons. Nicer stuff: clothes, car, house, electronics. Able to set all credit cards to automatically pay in full every month. Nicer hotels and vacations. Unique experiences, access to politicians, musicians, VIP areas, etc. Able to donate big sums of money to causes I care about. No more stressing about bills. They all get paid in full automatically. I can hire people to do the many of the things that used to take up my free time: laundry, house cleaning, errands, etc. I can take care of my family and friends when needed. The US system is designed by the rich to help them maintain and grow wealth. My stock holdings have made $600 so far while typing this. Now the bad. I try to be discreet because once people find out I have money, they try to separate me from it. Whether it's in the form of fees, inflated quotes, was quoted $2,000 to clean my tile floors once, or requests for loans, gifts, or investments. Everyone wants a piece. I have to worry about what my money is doing. Once my checks started coming in, I had dollars sitting in my checking account for months at a time. Now I have to move it around to make it grow for 401k, brokerage accounts, real estate syndication, etc. Similarly, any new friends not in my income bracket are suspect. It sucks, but I have to consider people's motives. I have to make sure my kids aren't entitled little brats and don't grow up to be entitled, awful adults. I'm not rich, but I've been dirt poor. While I make a good living for my area and can afford to actually buy stuff, I still get major anxiety when I spend money. I went from making decent money to losing everything in Hurricane Katrina years ago, and something in the back of my mind tells me to hoard money because it will happen again. I don't live anywhere near a hurricane vulnerable area, but I just mean a catastrophic event of some sort. I've made a lot of strides with being okay with spending money, but I still have a lot of tendencies that people would call cheap. What new problems have appeared? People suddenly become very friendly if they need money, and they stop being friendly if you don't loan them more. Also, loans are gifts in their head. Always lived the same, but now what I call virtual poverty. So the money I have saved is my security blanket. This year I was able to leave a workplace that became toxic, so I only work at places that make me feel happy. I can afford to drink pretty much any booze from a normal liquor store now. But I don't drink anymore. I can afford to eat anything at the nicest restaurants in town. But my waistline cannot take it. When I was a poor college kid, a tuna sandwich from the cafe for $1.50 was a treat. Now, no food feels that good. I don't know I'm rich, but I make around $250,000 a year and my financier makes an additional $120,000 a year. We are both 32. I grew up poor as shit. Father worked in flea market. Honestly, money solves everything and causes no new problems. I see people say that people will use you for your money. Friendships aren't real. You'll attract gold diggers, etc. But honestly, this is just a way for poor people to feel better. My rich friends are 100x more loyal, reliable, better people than my poor friends growing up. The people I attracted while dating were 100x nicer, more authentic, prettier than when I was poor. I live in a safe neighborhood in a luxury building, can pay people to do everything I hate, e.g. cooking, no financial stress, travel all the time. My job, although sometimes stressful, is super interesting and impactful. I can retire young. I moved from working a dead-end job to teaching abroad. While I am not rich, the call is shockingly low. We're talking a 3-BR apartment for about $500 a month low. Eating a decent meal, not an extravagant one, but something with somewhat healthy qualities, runs about $3 to $5 per meal. I can afford rent, avoid cooking forever if I wanted to, insurance, etc. and only have to budget $801,000 out of my total monthly salary of $3,000 depending on how strict I want to be. It's not for everyone, but it beats the hell out of delivering refrigerators with a bi-weekly salary of $400. Downside is being away from family. However, I can afford to fly them out and they have a place to stay if I budget correctly. Consulting a doctor and having blood work done, along with reviving a prescription, cost me $25 today. I'm not rich, but I'm very comfortable. Thanks for watching. Share your stories in the comments.